Today we'll discuss the factors which will influence the deposition products of electrolysis. That is, during electrolysis, how the products can be predicted. See, deposition of substance or product of electrolysis depends upon following factor. So first is nature of electrode. Second is nature of electrolytes. Third is concentration of electrolytes. And fourth is current density or charge density. Current density or charge density. So deposition of substance or product of electrolysis depends upon these following factors. First is nature of electrode, second is nature of electrolyte, third is concentration of electrolyte, and fourth is current density or charge density. Then first one, that is nature of electrode. Nature of electrode. Electrode is of basically two types. One is called as attacked electrode, other is called as non-attacked electrode. One is called as attacked electrode, other is called as non-attacked electrode. Attacked electrode is also known as participant electrode. Other is called as non-participant electrode. So attacked electrode, non-attacked electrode. Let's say we have silver ions. So AgCl. On this Ag rod, AgCl is coated, or Hg2Cl2, alright, etc. Similarly, if there is zinc rod is also attacked electrode. Copper rod, they are attacked electrode. So all these are attacked electrode, isn't it? Other is non-attacked electrode. Non-attacked electrode like carbon graphite electrode, non-attacked platinum electrode, non-attacked. So they are called as inert electrode. So electrodes can be attacked or can be non-attacked. If it is attacked electrode, it will be silver coated with silver chloride, mercury coated with mercury chloride, either mercury 1 chloride or mercury 2 chloride, zinc rod, copper rod, etc. All these are attacked electrodes. Other is non-attacked electrode or non-participant, that is carbon graphite electrode, platinum electrode, etc. They are inert electrode. Now, let's say we have zinc rod as anode. If zinc rod is there at anode, so this is zinc rod, we have seen earlier, when they are dipped in solution, when they are dipped in solution, what happens? This zinc ions goes to the solution zinc 2 plus 2 electron. This electron will move through this external circuit. So rod is attacked. This attacked rod, attacked electrode is used for the purification of corresponding metal. Corresponding metal. If it is non-attacked electrode, let's say platinum electrode we have used. If platinum electrode we have used and we have added HCl solution to them, there is HCl solution. So this electrode, alright, will not participate in the cell reaction, and rather either H3O plus from the solution will be deposited on this rod and hydrogen gas is evolved, or H3O plus is deposited over this, or H2 gas which has been adsorbed over the surface of platinum, that goes to the solution itself. But H2 goes in the form of H plus, platinum remains inert, so they are inert electrodes. During electrolysis, it depends with which product, how product is going to be formed, whether we have taken attacked electrode or non-attacked electrode. If we have used attacked electrode, that particular electrode itself can participate in the cell reaction. Okay. If we have used non-attacked electrode, that particular electrode will not participate in the cell reaction. So non-attacked electrode remains inert during the course of reaction itself. Isn't it? That is, it depends upon nature of electrode, whether electrode is made up of attacked electrode or non-attacked electrode. Usually, attacked electrodes are used during the purification of metal, and non-attacked electrodes are used during the extraction of metal. Alright, suppose. Next is nature of electrolytes. So if you see the nature of electrolytes, Now, if electrolytes are taken in the molten form, that's the first case. Let's say NaCl, liquid. When electric current is passed through them, it will be Na plus Cl minus. Alright, no other ions are there. We have cathode, we have anode. And cathode and anode which we have used, they are inert electrode. So on cathode there will be reduction. Na plus electron gives rise to Na. On anode, Cl minus gives rise to Cl plus electron, 2Cl minus Cl2 gas plus 2 electron. So chlorine gas is evolved on anode. Alright, chlorine gas is evolved at anode, where anode remains inert. It will not be a participant of the cell reaction. So reaction over here, if we use another electrode, there might be a chance, like suppose we use zinc, there might be a chance zinc gets oxidized at anode instead of evolution of chlorine gas. Okay. Similarly, if we have used, this is for NaCl liquid, that is fused sodium chloride. Suppose in second case we'll use NaCl aqueous. When electricity is passed through them, it will be Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. We have aqueous ion, so H2O gives rise to H3O plus OH minus. We have cathode, anode. At cathode, H3O plus electron, so 2H3O plus 2 electron gives rise to H2 gas plus 2 water molecule. At anode, OH minus is there. This OH minus will give OH plus electron. Then OH 2 mole gives rise to H2O2. Then H2O2 decomposes to H2O plus O2. 2H2O2 gives 2H2O plus O2. So this is multiplied by 2 and then this is multiplied by 4. So overall reaction will write this and this will be cancelled, this and this will be cancelled. So we have 4OH minus gives rise to 2H2O plus O2 gas plus 4 electron. There is loss of 4 electron and gain must be of 4 electrons. So this is multiplied by 2. So there will be 4 electron gain, 4 electron loss. This takes place. Now see, same NaCl solution we have used. Now we have used NaCl aqueous. Over here NaCl liquid. In NaCl liquid at cathode, substance deposited is sodium solid, and when NaCl aqueous is used, the substance deposited on cathode is hydrogen gas which is evolved instead of sodium. Then at anode, oxygen gas is evolved. At anode, over here, chlorine gas is evolved. Okay. Now, at this place, if other than OH minus, if OH minus is not getting discharged, then Cl minus will be evolved. If Cl minus will be evolved, what will happen? Cl plus electron. So 2 Cl minus gives Cl2 plus 2 electron. Now in this case, there are chance of evolution of Cl minus, evolution of OH minus. If OH minus will be evolved, it will evolve by doing this reaction. If Cl minus will be evolved, it will be evolved by this reaction. Now which ion gets evolved, which ion gets deposited over the surface of electrode, that is being decided by the use of discharge potential. That is being decided by the use of discharge potential. So we need to decide whether NaCl minus will be evolved or OH minus will be evolved at anode. That depends upon the value of their discharge potential. Similarly, Na plus will be deposited or H3O plus will be deposited. That is also being decided by the discharge potential values. If you see the discharge potential value of cation, discharge potential value of cation, and then we'll decide whether OH minus will be deposited or evolved or Cl minus will be evolved by seeing their discharge potential values of Cl minus and OH minus. So discharge potential values of cation is K नाम का मैजिक अल्लाह जानता है, कि Miru Ostara, that is, this is in decreasing order of discharge potential. Decreasing order of discharge potential. So the lowest value of discharge potential is of Ag plus. Therefore, Ag plus gets discharged easily, then mercury 2 plus, then copper 2 plus, then H plus, then zinc 2 plus, then Al3 plus, then magnesium 2 plus, then calcium 2 plus, then sodium plus, then potassium plus. So this has been decided on the basis of discharge potential. Now in this reaction, what we have Na plus and H3O plus. So Na plus and H3O plus, which gets deposited first. The ions which will have less discharge potential will have more tendency to deposit. So deposition of substance is inversely proportional to the discharge potential value. So of course, if you see this, H3O plus will have less discharge potential than Na plus. Therefore, H3O plus is deposited. H3O plus is deposited means cathode, this reaction will take place. If you take anode, anion, if you take anion, at anion what will happen? See, and anion we have Cl minus OH minus. So discharge potential value of anion is, that is P. Srinivas is not an officer of CBI. Phosphadione, sulfadione, P. Srinivas is not an officer of NO3 minus, not an officer of CBI, OH minus, Cl minus, Br minus and I minus. Again their discharge potential value decreases in this order. So I minus will have less discharge potential than Br minus, then Cl minus, then OH minus, then NO3 minus, then SO4 2 minus, and PO4 3 minus. Now if we compare the Cl minus and OH minus over there, so OH minus and Cl minus, which will have less discharge potential? Cl minus. Therefore at anode this reaction takes place and this reaction will not be, there at corresponding anode. So at anode which reaction will take place? C2Cl minus gets discharged in the form of Cl2 plus 2 electrons. Do the copy of this. Again see. Let's say we'll take another example. Suppose we have magnesium sulfate, aqueous solution. We do electrolysis. So there will be magnesium 2 plus ion, aqueous, plus SO4 2 minus, aqueous. Water ions, H2O, H3O plus, plus OH minus. We have cathode, we have anode. So at cathode, we have H3O plus and Mg2 plus. These two will compete. So according to this, Mg2 plus will have higher discharge potential than that of H3O plus. So at cathode, H3O plus gets depleted. So H3O plus plus electron gives rise to H2 gas plus water. At anode, SO4 2 minus OH minus and SO4 2 minus OH minus will have less discharge potential. So OH minus will be depleted and we will use this equation. So final equation is 4OH minus gives rise to 2H2 plus O2 plus 4 electron. So at anode we get oxygen gas, at cathode we will get hydrogen gas. So instead of magnesium, hydrogen gas is depleted. Instead of SO4 2 minus, oxygen gas is depleted. So which substance will be depleted on which electrode, we can decide on the basis of their nature of electrolytes as well as nature of electrolyte. We should see the discharge potential order of cation and anion. This you can remember. K नाम का मैजिक अल्लाह, के नाम का मैजिक अल्लाह जानता है कि मीरू वस्तरा. Discharge potential order of an ion. P. Srinivas is not an officer of CBI. Okay. Alright. Then third is, that is concentration of electrolytes. Concentration of electrolytes. See, whether electrolytes are dilute or concentrated. So first one is moderate dilute sodium chloride solution. If it is electrolyzed, what will happen? It will form Na plus aqueous plus Cl minus aqueous. And we have H2O gives rise to H3O plus plus OH minus. Cathode, anode. These cathode anode are inert electrode and therefore they will not participate in the reaction itself. So H3O plus plus electron gives rise to H2 gas plus H2. 2H3O plus 2H. Okay, because H3O plus Na plus, H3O plus will have less discharge potential than Na plus. At anode we have Cl minus and OH minus. So obviously Cl minus will be evolved as Cl2 gas plus 2 electron. Inside the solution, left out is Na plus and OH minus. Na plus and OH minus is left out, which will form sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so this is in case of a moderate dilute sodium chloride solution. If we take very dilute sodium chloride, what will happen? See, second case is very dilute sodium chloride solution. Upon electrolysis, it forms Na plus plus Cl minus. We have water, H2O gives rise to H3O plus plus OH minus. H3O plus plus OH minus. Cathode, anode. Since there is very dilute solution, so amount of Na plus per unit volume will be very less, while H3O plus concentration is very large. So what will happen? H3O plus will be deposited in the form of H2 gas plus 2 water, 2H3O plus 2 electron. Then OH minus instead of Cl minus, however Cl minus is having less discharge potential than OH minus, but even then Cl minus concentration is very less in per unit volume as compared to that of OH minus. So OH minus will be evolved. So OH minus will be evolved in the form of H2O, O2 and electrons. So 4OH minus 2H2O, 4 electrons. So now in this very dilute solution, this reaction involves, this resembles, this or it indicates there is an electrolysis of water instead of sodium chloride solution. So if you take very dilute solution, there will be electrolysis of solvent instead of electrolytes, because the electrolytic ions per unit volume will be very less, very less, and concentration of H3 plus and OH minus in the solution is very large. Therefore, their deposition takes place and they remains as it is. Okay. Then next. Next is current density. Next is current density. If you do the current density, that is the fourth point, what will happen? See, current density. Again, there are two different cases. So first case is in presence of low current density. Low current density. If there is low current density, see, suppose we will take H2SO4, aqueous. Aqueous means we have water ion as well. So H2SO4 gives H3O plus plus SO4 2 minus. By using low current density, it gets ionized in the form of H3O plus and SO4 2 minus. Over here, H3O plus and OH minus. Now we have cathode, we have anode. At cathode, H3O plus electron gives rise to H plus water. 2H3O plus 2 electron, H2 gas, 2 water molecule. At anode, what will happen? SO4 2 minus, OH minus is there, so OH minus will have less discharge potential than SO4 2 minus. This will be deposited, so it will form 2H2O plus O2 plus 4 electron. So we have at cathode we have hydrogen gas, at anode we have oxygen gas. If we use low current density, by using high current density, what will happen? See. By using high current density, if we use high current density, So H2SO4 aqueous by using high current density. This gets ionized in the form of H3O plus HSO4 minus. H3O plus HSO4 minus. Water molecule will be in the form of H3O plus OH minus. Now we have cathode, we have anode. At cathode H3O plus will be deposited. So 2 electron gives rise to H2 gas plus 2H2O. At anode what will happen? Now OH minus and HSO4 minus. So dP of HSO4 minus is less than the dP of OH minus. So HSO4 minus will be evolved in the form of HSO4 with 1 electron plus electron. Then HSO4 with 1 electron 2 moles dimerizes themselves, becoming H2S2O8. H2S2O8 plus water gives rise to H2SO5 plus H2SO4. Then H2SO5 further plus water gives rise to H2SO4 plus H2O2. So ultimately, what will happen? This is H2SO5. H2SO5 is cancelled. This and this will be cancelled. Alright. So we have 2 HSO4. HSO4 is cancelled. So this is multiplied by 2. Alright. Now, so 2 HSO4 minus plus water molecule 2 mole gives rise to 2 mole of H2SO4 plus 1 mole of H2O2. Hydrogen peroxide is evolved. Hydrogen peroxide is evolved. Alright? Okay. So at anode, hydrogen peroxide is evolved. Over here at anode, oxygen gas is evolved. See, there is difference in their product when we use different current density. Okay? When we use different current density. And this is all about the prediction of electrolytic products on different electrodes that is dependent upon 4 factors. One was nature of electrode, which type of electrode we are using, that depends. Another is nature of electrolyte, next is concentration of electrolyte, and next is current density. This is all about the first part, that is electrolytic cell and electrolysis. Now we'll move to the second part, that is electrochemical galvanic type of cell. The second is galvanic cell. We have 2 types of electrochemical cell. Electrochemical cell is a cell in which electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. Electrical energy is converted to chemical energy, that is electrolytic cell. And now chemical energy is converted to electrical energy, that is galvanic cell. Galvanic cell is another arrangement, alright, where what happens, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. That is, electricity is being produced without any mechanical device. Electricity is being produced without any mechanical device. It is produced just because of reactions. So chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. So in this cell, chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. chemical energy is converted into electrical energy. That is the cell which is called as galvanic cell. Alright. In this galvanic cell, okay, what we have used, galvanic cell arrangement is, we have taken two different electrodes in two different compartments. One is anodic compartment, other is cathodic compartment. This anodic compartment and cathodic compartment, now there is voltmeter. And these two compartments are separated through an arrangement which is called as salt bridge. The salt bridge, there is cotton plug, that is having, salt bridge is having different shapes. Over here, the salt bridge which we are using is, that is inverted U-tube arrangement. In this case, okay, let's say this is, we have taken zinc rod. This is copper rod. It is dipped in zinc sulfate solution. It is dipped in copper sulfate solution. Now we are not passing electricity to them. Rather, due to their internal reaction itself, alright, this electricity is being generated, which can be indicated by the netted deflection of voltmeter. Okay, this is what, this part is their anode. Left side electrode is anode. Right side electrode is cathode. So this is cathode. Left side electrode is anode. Right side electrode is cathode. Okay. On anode, oxidation takes place. On cathode, reduction takes place. On cathode, reduction takes place. Alright. So what will happen? See, this zinc is added in zinc sulfate solution. So what will happen after adding zinc sulfate solution? So zinc sulfate is having Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus. Okay, Zn2 plus and SO4 2 minus. What is happening over there? See, suppose any rod is, we have taken any metallic rod, if it is dipped into the solution, then two things takes place. This zinc rod will try to push their ions to the solution itself, Zn2 plus. So this from zinc rod, Zn2 plus goes to the solution, leaving behind electron on this electrode. this electron will be transported through external circuit like this, okay, which is connected to other oppositely charged electrode. So this electron is migrated, alright, through external circuit, through external wire. So this rod is having full of electrons because their metal ions are being given to the solution itself. Since metal ion is given to the solution, there will be potential difference arises, and such potential is called as oxidation potential. So what is happening over there? Due to migration of cation to the solution from electrode, concentration of cation increases, and because of concentration gradient, potential difference arises. Alright, and which is known as oxidation potential. What is this? This is oxidation potential. Similarly, if there is another rod we have taken, suppose this is copper rod. So if there is copper rod dipped in copper sulfate, there will be Cu2 plus in the solution, and this is coming from solution itself. So over here, solution will try to, this is connected through external wire, alright, through which electron flows to this particular electrode. So what is happening over there? The solution will deposit their ions to the corresponding electrode, and this phenomenon is called as solution pressure. This phenomenon is called as osmotic pressure. Alright. See now what is happening. So because of deposition, again, what happens? Due to deposition of Cu2 plus on electrode. Alright, it's deposition of Cu2 plus on electrode from solution. Potential difference arises. And this potential difference is called as reduction potential. This is called as reduction potential. Okay. Now, over here in this oxidation and reduction phenomenon, two different processes takes place. One is called as this metal rod try to send their ions, dissolve their ions to the solution. So the metal ions gives their ions to the solution itself, and such type of phenomenon is called as their osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is the pressure by virtue of which a metal rod tends to supply their ions, tends to dissolve their ions, tends to migrate their ions to the solution. That is a pressure by virtue of which metal ion from rod migrated to the solution. Metal ions from rod migrated to the solution, that is the phenomenon which is called as osmotic pressure. And due to this osmotic pressure, the successfully metal ions passes to the solution, and that therefore potential difference arises due to such phenomenon is called as their oxidation potential. Over here, what happens? Solution tends to deposit their ions to the corresponding electrode. That is called as solution pressure. That is called as solution pressure. Solution pressure is a pressure by virtue of which solution tends to deposit their ions to the corresponding metallic rod. Corresponding metallic rod. So that is the process which is called as solution pressure. Now two different phenomena takes place in this compartment as well as in this compartment. In this compartment as well as in this compartment, what is happening? So in this compartment there is Zn2 plus SO4 2 minus. In this compartment there is Cu2 plus SO4 2 minus. So Cu2 plus from the solution is migrated to the respective electrode. If Cu2 plus is being migrated to the respective electrode, what is happening over there on this? Cu2 plus will be there on this electrode. If zinc goes to the solution, so zinc goes to the solution and leaving behind electron and so on. So that this electron will flow through this external circuit, alright, electron will flow from anode to cathode, and once electron will reach, circuit is completed, alright, by using this internal circuit and external circuit, then there will be flow of electric current starts. So flow of electric current starts, and that current and direction is from cathode to anode through external wire, that is electric current will move towards opposite side. So what is happening over there? If solution pressure is, so we'll take two different phenomena. So case 1, if solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure. If solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure, this pressure is represented as SP. This pressure is represented as OP. So, if solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure, then solution will successfully deposit their ions to the rod and there will be reduction takes place. Okay, reduction takes place. Second case 2. If osmotic pressure is greater than solution pressure, then what will happen? Then this metallic rod will successfully passes their ions to the solution and then oxidation takes place. Oxidation takes place. The solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure. This is at cathode. Osmotic pressure is greater than solution pressure. This is at anode. So at anode, osmotic pressure is greater than solution pressure. Therefore, this zinc ion successfully passes to the solution. At this cathode, solution pressure is greater than osmotic pressure. Therefore, solution successfully passes their ions to the respective electrode and causes reduction. Therefore, on anode there will be oxidation and at cathode there will be reduction. At anode, due to this, whatever the potential arises due to oxidation is called as oxidation potential, and it is represented as metal from solid converted to metal N plus aqueous. Over here, due to reduction, so potential arises due to reduction. Potential arises due to reduction. Alright, is called as reduction potential and represented as Mn plus solution converted to M solid. Okay, so that is their oxidation potential and reduction potential. So how oxidation potential works, how reduction potential works. Okay, do the copy. Okay, now see, in galvanic cell, once again, I should do this revision. Galvanic cell is such type of electrochemical cell. Galvanic cell element is such type of electrochemical cell in which electric current is being generated because of cell reaction itself. Due to chemical reactions, electric current is being generated. Alright, and this chemical reactions, what is happening over there? Suppose that this one container we have taken zinc sulfate, in other container we have taken copper sulfate. Zinc rod is dipped in this solution, copper rod is dipped in this solution. Whenever a metal rod is dipped in some electrolytic solution, then of course there will be competition, there will be some ego factors will clash. Alright, solution will try to deposit their ions, to migrate their ions to the rod itself, and metallic rod will have tendency to pass their ions to the solution. So whoever will wins, accordingly they will develop their potentials. Like on this zinc rod, which is more reactive. So zinc rod, when added in zinc sulfate solution, there is already zinc ions, and zinc rod when added, they are electropositive metallic rod. So what will happen? Zinc ions passes successfully to the solution itself. When zinc ions passes successfully to the solution, what will happen in the solution? Concentration of zinc ions increases and there will be concentration difference arises, and due to this concentration difference, potential gradient arises, potential difference arises, and such potential difference where what is happening? Zinc from metallic rod becoming zinc 2 plus passes to the solution, leaving behind electron. Therefore, it is called as oxidation potential. So, in this oxidation potential, what happened over there? In oxidation potential, osmotic pressure, which was the pressure due to be developed, due to which or by virtue of which metal ion passes successfully to the solution, that is called as osmotic pressure. And when successfully solution will pass their ions to the metallic rod, the pressure developed is called as solution pressure. So when osmotic pressure was greater than solution pressure, then this ion successfully passes to the solution and gets oxidized, and such potential is called as oxidation potential, represented like this. In other container where copper is less reactive metal, so copper is less reactive metal, when they are added in the solution, what will happen? Copper 2 plus, which was already there in the solution, they gets deposited over the metallic rod. Since they gets deposited over the metallic rod, what happened? On this metallic rod, they are full of copper 2 plus ion, and what is happening over there? Solution pressure exceeded their osmotic pressure. So in this case, solution pressure exceeded their osmotic pressure. If solution pressure exceeded their osmotic pressure, then successfully ions from the solution gets deposited over the surface of electrode, and such phenomenon is called as reduction. The potential difference arises due to this is called as the reduction potential, represented by this way. I hope all of you understood regarding osmotic pressure and solution pressure. Alright, now due to this oxidation and reduction, what is happening over here on this anode becomes negatively charged. And cathode, where copper 2 plus ion is present, now this copper 2 plus this electrode becomes positively charged. So anode is negatively charged and cathode is positively charged. Negatively charged is because of excess of electron which is left out on the electrode itself after passing zinc ions to the solution. Why cathode is positively charged? Because of excess of copper 2 plus which is already present on this metallic rod. So copper 2 plus positive charge is present on the metallic rod, therefore metallic rod is positively charged. So over here, this charge convention is opposite to the charge convention as per the electrolytic cell. In electrolytic cell, you might have remembered, anode was positively charged and cathode was negatively charged. When we passes electric current externally through the solution to the solution itself. Over here, negative charge is on anode, positive charge is on cathode. In electrolytic cell minded, anode was positively charged and cathode was negatively charged. Understood? Okay. Now, further we'll see this salt bridge. As well as, before going to the salt bridge, few more things about this oxidation and reduction potential. If oxidation potential is or reduction potential is measured at 1 bar pressure for 1 molar concentration at any temperature of low range, usually 25 degrees Celsius, then the potential is called as standard oxidation potential. Standard oxidation potential. Similarly, SRP, standard reduction potential, that is potential measured at 1 bar pressure for 1 molar concentration of electrolyte and at 25 degrees Celsius temperature, usually. So the potential developed is called as standard reduction potential. Standard oxidation potential and standard reduction potential. Understood? Standard oxidation potential and standard reduction potential. Okay? Now, rub this to the copy. Then we will go for salt bridge arrangement. This is a special device which is called as salt bridge. Salt bridge. What is this? It is inverted U-tube arrangement. This is inverted U-tube arrangement. This U-tube, there is cotton plug. Some inert electrolytes are added. There is inert electrolytes like KCl, NH4NO3, KNO3, alright, ammonium chloride, NH4Cl, etc. can be used mixed with agar-agar solution. agar-agar solution. So this solution is in the form of jelly, gel. The solution in the form of gel. There is a cotton plug. So what is the use of this inert electrolyte KCl, NaCl, NH4Cl? Because these electrolytes will not be evolved. These electrolytes will not participate in the reaction itself. They are mixed with agar-agar to make a jelly form, so that they should not undergo intermixing with this cathodic and anodic solution itself. And that is being prevented by using cotton plug over there. Okay. Now, what is happening? What is their role? So, the function of salt bridge. Function of salt bridge. First, it completes the internal circuit. It completes the internal circuit. Right now, it completes the internal circuit. The internal circuit completes the internal circuit. The internal circuit is being completed. Let's say this salt bridge is not there. So obviously there is no intermixing of these and this solution. They are separate entity. And once there is no intermixing of the solution, there will be no exchange of ions. If there is no exchange of ions, there is no migration of ions, what will happen? Electric current will not be generated, and this circuit is incomplete. Only electric current is generated when there is closed circuit. If there is open circuit, in open circuit electric current will not be generated, will not be passed. So second one is, okay, it completes the internal circuit. Then second one, what is their phenomenon? So it prevents the formation of liquid junction potential. It prevents the formation of liquid junction potential. When two solutions are intermixed to each other, then at the junction itself there will be concentration gradient. Potential difference arises due to this. At the junction of these two solutions are called as liquid junction potential. So when this solution will mix with this solution, at the junction of mixing, their potential difference arises, which is called as liquid junction potential. And if liquid junction potential arises, then obviously there will be loss of electric current, loss of energy, and it may catches fire. So it prevents the formation of liquid junction potential. I'll explain how this salt bridge will work. So it prevents the formation of liquid junction potential. Third one, it allows ions to migrate across them. It allows ions to migrate across them. It allows ions to migrate across them. Okay, it allows ions to migrate across them. Alright, next. It prevents the accumulation of charge around the electrode. It prevents the accumulation of charge around the electrode. It prevents the accumulation of charge around the electrode. It prevents the accumulation of charge around the electrode. Okay. Here are some notable points. Note. In salt bridge, inert electrolytes are used. In salt bridge, inert electrolytes are used, which do not participate in cell reaction. Inert electrolytes are used, which do not participate in cell reaction. Inert electrolytes are used, which do not participate in cell reaction. inert electrolytes are used which do not participate in cell reaction. Next. Which do not participate in cell reaction. Okay. Next. In salt bridge, salts of silver ion, mercury 2 plus ion, salts of silver ion, mercury 2 plus ion, or lead 2 plus ion, etc. should not be used, or lead 2 plus ion, etc. should not be used because they form precipitate. Because they form precipitate and will block the internal circuit. Okay, and will block the internal circuit. Now, how it works? See. Okay. So, zinc passes to this and there will be excess of zinc. So, after some time, what will happen? Around this electrode, there will be accumulation of zinc ions. Around this electrode, there will be accumulation of zinc ions. If there is accumulation of zinc ions, over here, there will be accumulation of sulfate ions around this electrode. So, at this place, there is accumulation of zinc ions. Over here, there will be accumulation of sulfate ion. After some time, alright, during the course of reaction, what is happening over there? Once this internal circuit is completed, now zinc ions passes to the solution, copper 2 plus goes to this place, electron field flow from external circuit goes to this place. At this place there will be copper 2 plus. Over here, at this electrode, what will happen? Copper 2 plus will accept electron, becoming copper solid. At this place, what happened? Zinc solid gives rise to Zn2 plus 2 electron. So, this is anodic reaction, this is cathodic reaction. So, due to these two reactions, what happened? There will be deflection in the needle, so electric current is generated. So, flow of electric current takes place through external wire from cathode to anode, but through internal circuit from anode to cathode. Through I. So through internal circuit, alright, through anode to cathode, through external wire from cathode to anode. So circuit is completed. So what will happen? Due to these two reactions which takes place simultaneously at their respective electrode, electric current is being generated. And it flows through external wire through cathode to anode. Understood? Okay. Now, what is happening after some time, after certain time interval? What happens? There is accumulation of zinc ions around this electrode. There will be accumulation of copper 2 plus ion around this electrode. And due to this accumulation, what happens? Further migration of zinc ions to the solution will be checked. Further migration of copper ions to the electrode will be checked, which will stop the flow of electric current. Alright. So if this we have used, salt bridge we have used, what is the function of this salt bridge C? In this salt bridge there is inert electrolyte, either NaCl or KCl or ammonium chloride, whatever. Let's say we have taken KCl, K plus Cl minus, or KNO3, K plus NO3 minus. If there is accumulation of periodic charge, the Cl minus will reach to this place, there will be Cl minus. At this place there is Cl minus. So due to this Cl minus, zinc ions will start moving to this particular electrode itself. So zinc ions gets diffused through this salt in the salt bridge, and zinc ions goes to this place. When zinc ions will move towards this side, at this place there is accumulation of sulfate ions, so K plus will come to this place. At this place there will be K plus. So at this end, K plus will be there. K plus is not going to diffuse the solution, rather it will attract SO4 minus towards themselves. So from this side, SO4 minus will move to the salt bridge itself. So zinc ions will move to the salt bridge over here, sulfate ion will move to the salt bridge. So this electrode now will be free from sulfate ion, free from zinc ions, and now it maintains the flow of electric current. So it maintains the flow of electric current. It maintains the flow of electric current. But allows ions to move across them. After that, what will happen? So this cell reaction continues. Further, whenever there is a demand of zinc 2 plus will be dropped by them. SO4 minus ion will be dropped by them. Simply, all the zinc ions will move to this place, and zinc 2 plus, this rod is getting degraded. This rod is getting upgraded. Understood? So this is the function of salt bridge, and this is about the arrangement which is called as galvanic cell. So what we can say in the galvanic cell arrangement, what we can characterize. So if you want to write characters, so you want to just write characteristics of galvanic cell. First point. It consists of cathodic and anodic compartment. It consists of an arrangement of cathodic and anodic compartment. It consists of an arrangement of cathodic and anodic compartment. Cathodic and anodic compartment separated through a salt bridge. Separated through a salt bridge. Separated through a salt bridge. Next point. Anode in this case is negatively charged. Anode is negatively charged, while cathode is positively charged. Anode is negatively charged, while cathode is positively charged. Anode is negatively charged, while cathode is positively charged. Okay, next. Cell reaction is spontaneous. Cell reaction is spontaneous. Cell reaction is spontaneous. That is, Gibbs free energy is negative. Change in Gibbs free energy is negative. Del G is negative. Cell reaction is spontaneous. Next. The direction of flow of electric current is from anode to cathode through external circuit or external wire, from anode to cathode through external wire, and from cathode to anode through internal circuit. And from cathode to anode through internal circuit. While direction of flow of electric current is reverse of the direction of flow of electrons. Direction of flow of electric current is reverse of direction of flow of electrons. Reverse of direction of flow of electrons. Reverse of direction of flow of electrons. Okay. Electric current is generated because of cell reaction. Electric current is generated because of cell reaction takes place. Because of cell reaction. Overall cell reaction can be written as that is zinc solid plus copper 2 plus aqueous gives rise to copper solid plus zinc 2 plus aqueous. Overall cell reaction can be written as like this. Zinc solid plus copper 2 plus aqueous gives rise to copper solid plus zinc 2 plus aqueous. Zinc 2 plus aqueous. Okay. Alright. These are few characteristics of galvanic cell. So where the important point is the cell reaction is spontaneous, del G is negative. And we will discuss about the del G in thermodynamics of electrochemistry. Now, cell notation. Cell notation or representation. In cell notation, first of all, we write anodic half reaction. Then double line, this parallel line is for salt bridge. Then cathodic half reaction. So, anodic half reaction, then after cathodic half reaction. Like for example, in this case, zinc solid converted to Zn2 plus aqueous. Separated through double line which is salt bridge. Then copper 2 plus aqueous converted to copper solid. This is aqueous. There is certain concentration C1. There is aqueous, certain concentration C2. Their electrode potential can be measured with the help of hydrogen platinum. Their electrode potential can be measured with the help of hydrogen platinum. So this is cell notation. This is alright, not compulsory, you should write. This is cell notation of alright, galvanic cell. So zinc solid converted to zinc 2 plus aqueous. Their electrode potential can be measured by standardization with hydrogen platinum. Their potential can be measured by hydrogen platinum. Okay. So the zinc solid, zinc 2 plus aqueous with certain concentration C1, copper 2 plus aqueous with C2 gives rise to copper solid. So this is the cell notation of, what? This is cell notation of galvanic cell element. Instead of that can also be written as zinc converted to Zn converted to Zn2 plus aqueous with C1. Salt bridge. Copper 2 plus aqueous C2 converted to, copper solid. Zinc solid. So, other than this can be also be represented like this. So, instead of using slash, we can use semicolon over there like this. That is the notation of galvanic cell. So galvanic cell arrangement is zinc rod as anode, copper rod as cathode, dipped in zinc sulfate, dipped in copper sulfate, connected through a salt bridge, and external circuit is there. Electrons will flow from anode to cathode. Current will flow from cathode to anode through external wire. While through internal circuit, electrons flows from cathode to anode and current flows from anode to cathode. This is the thing. I hope all of you understood about the functioning of galvanic cell, cell notation, salt bridge and their functions. Okay. Oxidation potential, reduction potential and all. So remaining things of this chapter we will discuss in next class, in next video. Thank you very much.